My children had an extremely challenging time. They went from having a mom that was there for them all the time. Within one day, I was removed literally from their lives. My name is Brianne Dressen, and I am from Saratoga Springs, Utah. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was all in with wanting to help us all get out of the pandemic faster. I did the social distancing to protect vulnerable family members. I was a preschool teacher at the time, and I was trying to do everything I could to make things easy on those little kids in a world that was anything but certain. So, signing up for a clinical trial for COVID vaccine that was supposed to end the virus, it just seemed like it was my duty. Well, when I signed up, it was pretty simple. They were aggressively recruiting nationwide, and we had a very thorough conversation over the phone with the test clinic. They wanted to know everything that had ever happened to me in my life from the moment I was born. They wanted to know my family history and everything. So I made it through a pretty thorough screening, and then I went in to sign a contract with them. And the drug company agreed at that time to pay for any and all medical and other expenses due to injury. Within an hour of my injection, I had tingling down the same arm as my injection. Then it moved to my other arm, and then it moved to my legs, and then it moved to my head. And to this day, I still have this horrific, painful pins and needles tingling sensation surging through my entire body 24 hours a day. And that was just the first alien symptom. There were more than 20 symptoms that piled on over the next 2.5 weeks. I ended up in the ER 4 times, hospitalized once, severe heart rate fluctuations. I was passing out. My legs became so weak I couldn't walk. I became incontinent. I had severe sensitivity to light and sound to the point where I needed to be holed up in a room by myself all the time. My children had an extremely challenging time. They went from having a mom that was there for them all the time. Within one day, I was removed literally from their lives. And all of a sudden, everything revolved around mom. What's wrong with mom? Is she going to the hospital today? Is she going to die? Is she okay? Why is mom crying in a room by herself in the dark? It was horrific for them. And it still is to this day. Both of my kids have had to accept that the unpredictability of our lives now is a far cry from what it was. Vaccine injury, just like any chronic illness, has put an extreme stress on my relationship, but at the same time, it also has given us an opportunity to grow and become stronger than ever. We both have had to completely change our roles in our relationship. I'm a professional couch potato, and my husband takes care of everything. He works, he feeds the kids, he does everything, takes me to and from appointments because I can't drive very far anymore. Before my injury, my life was great. I was hiking and climbing and skiing and was super mom and was an active and willing participant in my community and helping, all of the other kids and young families in our area. And that all changed with one shot. That's all it took. Functioning in this way definitely can eat away at your will to keep going and your will to live, especially when you're in constant pain 24/7. And I definitely lost hope at some points, to the point where I was ready to be done and there was no way out. Obviously, being a mom, you can't ever give up. And no matter how bad it gets, You got to dig deep and you have to be there. At the peak of my injury, I didn't speak out because I thought I was one in a million. And I quickly found a few other people that were injured as medical care providers. And then it turned into a dozen and then a few hundred. And before we knew it, there were thousands of people all dealing with the same issue that I was. And at that point, it became very obvious that there was something not wrong with me necessarily, but there was a possibility that this product could be driving a lot more harm than what people knew. So we started reaching out to the federal government, federal health officials, thinking, hey, they probably just don't know about this, so we should tell them, and then they can address it. And we thought that that would be it, but they wouldn't listen. They even flew us out to the National Institutes of Health and studied us in person. And we thought that they were going to publicize these types of injuries to the public. And they told us point blank to our faces to not talk about the research going on there on us. So after we found all of these people that were all dealing with the same problems from the COVID vaccines, and the government failed us, the media had failed us, politicians had failed us, we decided that we needed to reach out and start speaking out ourselves. So we started putting campaigns together on social media, support group networks. We started reaching out to Senator Ron Johnson and did a press conference with him. And that's really when the public started becoming aware that this could be a possibility. So React 19 is a 501c3 nonprofit that was founded by people harmed by COVID vaccines for people harmed by COVID vaccines. And we help people physically, financially, and emotionally. Oh, yeah, I got lots of regrets. I don't know if I do regret this, because people ask, like, do you regret getting the shot? And well, obviously, yeah. Had I known that it was going to do this, there is no way I would have taken it. But at the same time, had I not had this experience, I would not have been plucked out of this matrix, and I would not be aware of the harms and the dangers that are coming for my children. So for that, I stand completely resolved in accepting that this is my way of being able to protect my kids.